Do you mind? Hey everybody, and welcome to Finish Friday, the show where we help more creative people change more lives. I'm your host, Todd B. from Tennessee, and I created this show because on a scale of 1 to explaining to your dog he just ordered something from Amazon, creating things is hard. Watch this. This is a Lara bar button. And this is the dog who just hit the Lara bar button. Hey! You even care what you did? Hey, you cost our family $4.33. So apparently this is like the animal show. In case you don't know, I live in a zoo. That's what it feels like sometimes with all the critters running around. But what's up, everybody? That's pretty much what's going on in my life. I'm learning some things about Medium, which I'm going to share with you here in a little bit, coming up on the question of the week. Dope Star Wars mug has not yet been featured. It's the 30th episode. The 30th episode. I couldn't even say that right. I'm going to give away some books at the end of this, so make sure you either stay tuned until or jump to the end to see how you can get your free audiobook. But with that, let's get into today's topic. Ira Glass is my hero. I mean, he doesn't know it yet, and he doesn't know me, and he doesn't, I don't think, know that he's a hero, but he's my hero because he has this video out on YouTube called The Gap, and I wish one day, I swear, I'll be able to quote it from memory, but it's essentially the premise that all creative people are born with good taste, including you, of course. But what happens is whenever we start to make our own work, we start to make our own art, there's a conflict between our taste and what we're actually able to do. Because you guys know this feeling, right? When you start out with your work, you're looking at it, you're reading back over it, and you have to sit with the uncomfortable fact that it's just really not that good. And so The Gap is this kind of mythological place where all creatives have to go through. And it's called that for me because that was a dark time for me, trying to understand that my work wasn't as good as it needed to be. But the key word I had to keep telling myself at the bottom of that gap was yet. It's not where it needs to be yet. And so I think that's the word that a lot of you need to hear right now. I'm looking in my community, right? And this is the thing that throws most people off, is that gap. And so what I want you to keep telling yourself is yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not as good as I want to be yet. I haven't written that novel yet. I'm not making money off my art yet. And if you keep tacking on that yet to the end of every sentence, that's going to give you the fuel you need to get past the gap. That's going to give you the fuel you need to get to the other side and make the art you were meant to make. This week's question of the week comes from Miguel. Thank you so much, Miguel. You guys can ask a question to the show anytime. Todd@toddbryson.com, or just comment down below. Last week I actually answered a couple questions like in the comments themselves. So that's always a lot of fun. I'll get you on the show and we'll get you a shout out just like Miguel. Miguel asks, do you have any suggestions to boost my Medium profile a little bit? And so from some context, this is a long email, but essentially Miguel is using writing as kind of a therapy, right? Like he's not sure if he wants it to be like his full-time thing, but certainly more exposure couldn't help. So I've talked about Medium on the show before, but I wanted to bring it back for this reason. Medium as a platform is radically different than it was even 6 months ago. What's happened is they're monetizing their site. So there's this level that is the membership level. There's only member content up there. There's exclusive stuff. And when they started that, I was so confused. I'm talking with my friends and I'm like, this looks like they're trying to make a move to become like a New York Times type platform, like with their own stuff and their own content, and push that stuff. And I was so confused by that. And this is a great way, like, assumptions can destroy you, because I was like, they can't do that. Like, there's no way they're going to be the New York Times. But, like, as I'm watching this unfold, that's kind of what's happening, is they're having their own content. I'm getting shown exclusive stuff. There's another level of thing. Other people are hitting the paywall with this. And what's happened is, guys, frankly, Medium is just not as explosive as it once was. Used to be the only reason they existed was to connect writers with readers. Now they have their own arm. It's going to be a little more difficult, and that's why I want to talk about this, because you need to get, it's the gap again, right? You need to get past that point. Miguel and everyone else who's thinking about getting into Medium, if you haven't yet, I would focus 100% on getting recommends in the first 5 to 20 minutes that your post goes live. No joke. One of my best friends, not best friends, but one of my acquaintances, one of the best writers on Medium, Ben Hardy. I met with him, and he talks about that's what makes or break a post for him. Is if in the first 5 to 20 minutes he's got to have those recommends coming in. That's what makes the difference to whether or not it blows up. For me, and this is what you do. You look at your audience, you look at who's reading your stuff, and you see when they are most responsive and when they are most receptive to your stuff. For me, I learned last week that the posts that I publish at 6 a.m. versus the posts I publish at 8 a.m. are radically different in where they go in the algorithm. 6 a.m. post, way up here. 8 a.m. post, way down here. But that's just my audience. So I would take a look at who you've got. I would get them to get on or see when they're reading your stuff, and I would capitalize on that first 5 to 20 minutes, because if you can do that, there's a good chance your post will go further than you think it will. And finally, the artist spotlight this week goes on Peter McKinnon. So I'm going through this thing right now, right? I saw an Abe Lincoln quote, which any quote on the internet, who knows who actually said it first, that said, if I had 6 hours to cut down a tree, I would spend the first 4 sharpening my axe. And I'm writing a post right now that's going to be basically a month-long exploration of that. And that has led me to Peter McKinnon, who is one of the best teachers in video on the internet. Honestly, I believe there are other Premiere tutorials that aren't that good. There are other video editing tutorials not that good. Peter McKinnon, of course, I'll link him up down below. If you have anything to do with video at all, which probably all of you should, if you're in video at all, I would highly recommend getting into my man Peter down below. Just a wealth of knowledge, and he presents it in a way, and he cares for his video in a way that will make it instantly applicable no matter what level of video production you're at. So check out Peter McKinnon. I will link him up down below, of course. And episode 30 is in the bag. You guys, I'm going to give away some books. So 8 of you, and I calculated that number by counting the number of Post-its I had in this thing. 8 people will win a free audiobook when you comment down below with this answer to this question. Who is your hero and why? I talked about Ira Glass earlier in the show. Makes me happy. It definitely done some big things for me. I want to hear your hero down below. I'm going to pick 8 people randomly to win a free copy of The Creative's Curse, which is my book. It's not first come, first serve. I'll just randomly pick through 8. So leave your comments down below. Much love as always, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this show. Don't forget, thumbs up if you liked it. Again, I'm Todd B from Tennessee, and I will talk with you soon.